It literally every single state around that has a peak in it, and then like he's just a little guy where he's like, look at me, I don't have a little vowel in me, I'm the first state, and it's like, okay.
Well, you know who made fun of it in
was it PMC?
YouTube comments? Yeah, it was the GOAT PMC. Yeah. I will have you know, Nestani, that somebody today that's a fan of the podcast rated me and said hello, entire state of Delaware. So
that's good. That's what we want. The entire state. Of Delaware.
Wait, off the record, who was this?
Oh, it was Banhit Gaming. He's just one of my.
Oh, Banhit. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Banhit. Yeah.
Goated.
Yeah. He runs DMC and I think some Spider-Man games, maybe.
It is the entire state of Delaware. I'm glad it's spreading.
Anytime that guy rates me, he always types GROUP like every
time. At SGDQ, a bunch of people were just like, "What up, Delaware?" or some shit like that, you know? They'll be like, "Delaware Cosmic."
Dude, it's so weird. People in the wild referencing shit we say on the podcast. That is
Wait, you had that?
It's there was I think someone who literally did the blue sky equivalent of subtweet me, where it was just I was listening to a speedrun podcast where one of the people was talking about being down on their run and not saying they didn't perform very good. I'm like, bitch, that's just me. Just say my name.
Say my name, bro.
I don't have any ill will towards this person. Let me be very clear, but I'm just
you have so much ill will.
You can just say my name, bro. That's okay. I'm not gonna be at you like that. It's just crazy to me.
And then while you're at it, make sure you at the podcast so that people can also watch.
Exactly.
The episode.
I'm not mad that you're subtweeting me. I'm mad that you're not giving me free engagement, bro.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
My podcast. What are you doing? I don't know.
Yeah.
For real.
Shoutouts to me actually advertising the podcast during my GDQ run finally after the 11th try.
No shoutouts to Delaware though. The entire state of Delaware just ignored our pleas. Now, to be fair, there was a proposal, so
that probably overrides it a little bit.
My thing too was that I was honestly kind of frazzled after dying to a kidna twice, and then the technical difficulties happening.
Yeah.
Did the run have to pause midway through?
Yeah, it had to pause midway through. I even fucked up all of my shout outs and even plugging myself. I was just I just want to. I'm done, dude. Mentally, I was I'm good. I'm done. That also is just kind of after doing that run too. I know that my next game that I want to get in needs to be a super technical
Otgi,
because. Otogi maybe, but I'm really hoping that Ninja Gaiden 4 is good.
He really just keeps saying maybe. He hates Otgi, guys. He really does.
Well, it's one of those things where I love that run, but I don't know how marathon safe it is. So, I can tell you it's probably not terribly marathon safe because of consistency issues with 2 levels. But that's really.
Then just get better.
That's what I keep telling people. They're like, why don't you submit Otogi 2 to SGDQ? And I'm like, I gotta get better, dude. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Or are you gonna get better without any implicit pressure to improve because you have this thing you gotta improve by?
Yeah, the thing too is that my summer best is so far off of my PB now that it's just a really punishing run, and I really also just want to beat Dolphin's time because Dolphin's held record in both games for years now, and I'm pretty sure I could be the Otki guy, but I need to for lack of a better phrase, I just need to lock in. The problem is that 2 of the bosses or one of the levels is just really random, and then the other level is even more random. So it's sick. So it's one of those things where I can't even get better in a sense at those 2 levels because I've tried the furthest I've come is AI manipulation along a curved wall. And then all of that is dependent on a very specific setup, and then a boss not being stupid. So it's all right,
stupid.
Sick. Yeah, and then the other one too is that half of the boss fight on one of the levels is solved. We have it down pat, it's done, it's fixed, and then you got to go to the center of the arena, and then you just have to sit there and pray that the boss decides to fly at you sooner rather than later while your health ticks down.
Oh, that seems like fun. Oh.
And then, and then if it decides not to do that, and
does not answer your prayers,
and it's a worm. I don't know if there's any worms named Jahish, but I'd be interested
you're
to
saying
know.
the god, and God is Jahish. You're praying to Jahish. That
I thought God was a woman, not a worm. Is that why girls always ask, "Would you love me if I was a worm?" Is that?
It's possible. I didn't consider this actually. I know that one of the worms in this level is a woman. The other one, funny enough, the one that gives us all the trouble is the male. So there's that.
As it goes, yeah.
As it goes. So he can just fly around.
And they're worms.
He can just fly around the top of the arena and just be like, yeah, I'm not going to do shit. And then like triplets of lightning are just being called down around you. And it's like, sick, awesome. And then if you die, you got to wait at least another 30 to 45 seconds to actually like do the like level in full again. Because the first worm doesn't spawn until, the worm that we have the fixed kill on doesn't spawn until like 30 seconds into the level. Pretty sick, dude. Honestly.
Would you say the male worm is like average size?
Yeah, I mean, no, it's actually pretty big. I suppose as far as like male worms in Japanese mythology go, it's probably pretty average sized.
Oh, okay.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I had to wait 30 to 45 seconds to start this podcast. So welcome back to the podcast, everyone. My name is Nestani.
I am Jaxler.
My name is DECosmic.
My name is Coley.
And Delaware actually lied to you. His name, again, is the entire state of Delaware. Let's just not forget it. We're driving this one home.
Esquire.
It's going to be a horse, and it's going to die.
The only state that doesn't have the Appalachian Mountains.
As Cole has learned geography for the first time, someone made fun of you in the YouTube comments.
State around that has peak in it. And then he's just a little guy where he's like, look at me, I'm a little power to me. I'm the first state. And it's like, okay, buddy.
You know who made fun of him? Was
it PMC?
YouTube comments. Yeah, it was the GOAT PMC. Yeah.
I was going to pull it up.
Yeah.
Is he from Delaware?
No, he's from New Jersey, which is to the right of Delaware.
Yeah.
No mountains there either. If you
I
were
was
wondering.
not prepared for the Appalachian Mountains are in Delaware take.
Yeah. So
it's
the
like
funniest
right
part
there. That's like saying, okay, it's not like I was like, oh, Texas has the Appalachian Mountains in it. It's like, come on, guys, give me a little slack here. No, good God, I'm not that far off.
The other day, I messaged PMC. This is the same day he leaves that comment, and so he and I had been talking about the new RoboCop games and like the standalone expansion that happened for it, and I was playing it and talking about how playing it caused me to want to upgrade my PC because I could only get like 45 FPS on my current build. So I bought a new computer, but pretty much. But I bought a new computer, so it's all good.
Wait, did you
so
say
I messaged PMC. Yeah, I bought one.
Pog.
Yeah.
Wait, when are you getting it though?
So
what do you have in
this
it?
Week. It's gonna be a 5070, I believe, and then an AMD R. Is it an R7 or R9? I don't remember.
That's none of those letters are correct, actually.
That's fair. Let me actually let me look it up here real quick. But while I'm telling,
nerd shit. Sorry, guys, I had to derail us. He mentioned computer, and my brain said, "Ooh."
So I say to PMC, "Oh yeah, I finished the RoboCop DLC. It was really cool. Like it was pretty fun.
DLC,
And so he was like, "Oh, I'll have to check it out sometime. I'm currently just reeling from somebody thinking that the Appalachian Mountains are in Delaware."
Literally, y'all just overreact. And also, I looked it up that like.
No, I think you are underreacting. Actually.
No.
Oh, so here you go, Nestani. It's the CPU is an AMD R7 9800 X3D.
It's a 9800 X3D. Okay, cool. Yeah. I don't know what the fucking R7 is. I don't know where that's coming from.
I don't know. It just says R7, bro. I'm just reading off the fucking description. Yeah. And then the graphics, it says NVIDIA RTX 5070 Ti. Sure. There's 64 gigabytes of RAM, DDR5.
Damn.
64?
64.
What?
Yeah,
I want this thing to last.
More. Like 32 is kind of standard right now, so going 64 is good for future-proofing right now.
Yeah, I want this this computer to last me like 10 years, so I was like, I'm just gonna upgrade.
It's not going to, but it'll last you like 7, 6 or 7.
You hate to see it. And then
actually, I don't know. At the rate of improvement, it's kind of slowing down.
2 terabyte NVMe. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I mean, this could. Let me put it this way.
Fast.
This
it's good. It's really good. It's like
true.
It's like almost top of the line, basically.
It's the M2 or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. Like if I were to buy a computer, I would buy pretty much those exact same specs.
Yep. One of my friends recommended it to me because like I was looking around for stuff that was on sale, and like I linked her to the Skytech gaming Skytech PCs or whatever, and she looked around and she was like, "This is probably what I would do if I were gonna do like a new build." And her builds have been good, and like she does custom stuff, I believe. And like my other friend, who's her fiance, he's been using her build lately from like 2016, and it still holds up. So
yeah. Hey, when you pick good, your shit just lasts forever.
Yeah,
it's true.
The computer I first built, like when I was like freshman year of college, that would have been like 2017. Like,
yeah,
I ended up just like either giving it, or like I think I might have just given it to him, but I think I like sold it to him for like pretty low, and it like still fucking works.
Yeah.
And that's off like a
in this computer
1080X graphics card from however.
Like pretty much like computers always work unless you want to do like top of the line stuff. Like if you're wanting to play like new games like at not garbage settings, then like you're gonna need to upgrade. But if you have any like 30 series GPU, you're gonna be able to play everything for like ever. As long as you're okay with playing on minimum and maybe not 60 FPS and everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The wild thing, right, is that like this computer when I bought it, like the one that I'm currently using, that was even a little outdated when I got it in 2020. And there's like a 1660 Ti in here. But that thing has, served me pretty well for like 5.5 years at this point. So with as much future proofing as I'm doing with this current PC, I could see this lasting me like well into my 40s. Which is kind of the point,
you definitely can do 10 years on like as long as you're not doing super the top of the line stuff, which you don't. So you probably will make it last that long for sure.
The only thing to like, I mean, fortunately now there's a bunch of like newer games that I'm kind of excited about coming out.
Ninja Gay 4.
Ninja Gay 4, Lost Soul Aside, Silent Hill F, and then Resident Evil Requiem is another one. There's like in general too, like indie titles are pretty demanding as well. I've noticed kind of on PCs for like no reason. Like I was playing a demo for a game called Morbid Metal, and I was like, this seems quite demanding for like what it is.
I think what it is you, especially if it's an Unreal game. Unreal comes packaged with a lot of shit.
That's fair.
Which can really mess with performance. Why? What's up?
Fucking Cole's thing in voice chat.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying, look it's the only state in the entire part that isn't considered part of the mountain range, bro. It's like literally edging on that little like Piedmont or whatever that means. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Those are the Appalachian Highlands.
Oh bother. It's the same thing. What the hell are you talking about?
Bother. Oh my god. Is you stupid? Is you dumb? Oh,
I didn't mean to interrupt. I just sent it for later.
I just saw it in the voice chat. It just made me laugh. I was like, nigga pulled up a map. But
it's on Wikipedia. You can literally look at it yourself.
It is funny though. Because,
so
Cosmic
the
was talking
mountains
about,
are like.
Okay, go ahead. We're gonna keep.
I mean, they're in North Carolina, dude. Like they're part of the fucking. No, dude.
I didn't make the map. I didn't make it. Like it's just. This is just what the internet's telling me, bro. Like this is how I learn.
Hey, don't believe everything you read on the internet. We're bringing it back. Bringing it back in a big way.
Why would it? But it's right there. I literally have a friend that has hiked the Appalachian Trail, which is insane. Like that's an insane thing to do. It took him like over half a year to do it. So I was like, based on his description, like it's gotta be in Delaware. Like Delaware is so tiny and so close to everything that is Appalachia, and now it's not.
So here's my question to you: is what state was your friend in when they hiked that trail?
They started in Georgia, and then they went.
You know how far Georgia is from me?
Yeah, I know. It's like all the way down there. But that's the whole... the mountain spans across like the entire East Coast except for like Florida and you. And that's it. Like, that's all it is.
Florida and me, bro. So what state did they go up to then when they
went to Maine, I think.
Maine,
that's
the end of it.
That's
where
it
ends.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty
Very cool. You know.
Yeah.
I think this is just a problem
fair.
of no one knowing where Delaware is because it's such an irrelevant state.
No,
Pretty
I
much,
do.
yeah.
Listen, if you give me a United States map right now, I could literally name each 50 states. Like, I could just go through the whole map and point out, like,
but you didn't
dude,
know where the
cool.
mountains
ones
were.
they are.
Yeah.
Bare minimum.
Okay. Literally, it's not even that big of a.
I can't
upset,
do
guys.
that.
It's not even that big of an upset.
I can't do that. So, you know, whatever. I'd probably get some of like the Rust Belt states wrong and all that sort of stuff.
What the fuck is a Rust Belt?
I don't even know if I'm using
Kentucky
this
and
correctly.
South.
Yeah, that one.
It's like
Isn't
that
it the Bible
Belt?
Kentucky,
What are you
kind
talking
of
about?
Tennessee. Yeah, the Bible Belt. Yeah.
Yeah,
the Bible
who calls it a
Belt.
Rust
Yeah, the
Belt?
Rust Belt. Wikipedia, bro. The fuck
You're a
you mean?
Wikipedia dude. Like, have you
Yeah,
seen
and
a
this is
forehead
what
with it fucking
Wikipedia
shining
calls
out?
the
damn.
Appalachian Mountains.
Actually, no.
Well,
Wikipedia
it says
calls it the
it says
Appalachian Mountains.
Highlands in big bold letters on your screenshot. It says
Oh,
Appalachian
whatever.
Highlands.
It's this. It's like an analogy. It's a synonym.
It's a
synonym.
That's fair.
It insists upon itself, Lois. It insists upon itself.
Although this would actually like explain why I was on a mountain when I drove to GDQ in Pittsburgh that one year.
Yeah.
So, you know, I didn't know what part
I'm
of
gonna jump off a mountain
mountains
here
I
in a
was
minute.
Nah,
Hey, I can do
Hooray!
that. They're like right there. I can like point out.
Yeah, I was
can
gonna
get
say.
I can go
No
get
idea
them
where
in like
mountains.
40 minutes.
Yeah.
I can go get. Yeah.
I
Hey,
can't,
can you bring the
though, 'cause
mountains
they're
over to
not-
the pod real
I
quick?
They're
can
not
go
that
retrieve
far.
a mountain in 40 minutes. It's kind of pog.
That's funny. What I will also say this too.
Oh boy, here we go.
Okay, is that
All right.
they're being
Cole,
rather
in my defense, I've
generous.
been trying to shift it back after I shifted it to this. You know, I just want to let you know I've tried to.
I
But
know,
he's
I
still
know.
dogging on
I
you,
know
so I
how-
gotta let him do it because I've
I'm
got
not
to let the
dogging.
content
I'm not
happen.
dogging
bro.
on him.
No,
I'm
I've
not
got to
dogging
let
on
the
him.
content go. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I'm not dogging on Cole, but I will say that
Here's
this
the
map
thing.
is quite what is it, generous with what they consider highlands. You know, because I've seen these parts of that it says like Piedmont or Piedmont or whatever, the yellow part.
Yeah,
I've seen how flat this part of Maryland is, dude. Like I've driven across most of Maryland in my life, and that shit is flat, bro. If that's considered a highland, then like buffalo sauce is made out of buffalo. Like I don't know what we're talking about here.
Bitch, have you been on the plateau before?
Wait,
Like,
this brings up a very interesting point. You know how like this happens with weather? Like I'm from Michigan. I think snow is like no business at all. Like I'm so used to the snow, but then like when the Southerners like, ew, like 80-degree weather, we go ha ha or whatever. Like because it's like we're used to the weather and they're used to their own weather. It's like whatever.
Where is Delaware?
I've been reading this book.
Delaware
I've been reading
is,
this.
Go ahead.
It's like right
Cole.
on the Atlantic Ocean. It's like just north
it's
of
like
like
right on there.
Maryland
Yeah.
and stuff.
North of
Well,
Maryland.
to the-
If you look
to
at the
right of
map I
Maryland.
sent, it's like where the color isn't on the.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like directly east of Washington D.C.
Yeah,
Washington.
it's like right underneath, like the. It's like to the right of the.
Is it
to the yellow
labeled on
part.
the map? I swear I don't see the
No, I
word
don't think
Delaware.
so.
Oh, okay.
Not-
That's
no,
why I
it
can't
isn't.
see it. I like
Yeah, I
how
don't think it
Boston's
is.
labeled on this map, but Delaware isn't.
Have I told y'all the story of the lady that came into the Walgreens when I was working, and asked me for like a Maryland newspaper?
what?
Have I
No, but
told
that
this
sounds
story?
silly.
Okay, so
This doesn't
I
seem
am
like a
in-
riveting story. I'm not gonna lie, but
No, it's
King,
not.
He's going.
So
Okay.
so I'm in the middle of so I'm at work in Walgreens, and this is not like close to Delaware or not close to Maryland.
What if
I'm sorry, it's not
Zendaya
close to
showed up at a
Maryland at this
Walgreens in
point.
Dude, your whole state is close to
Yeah.
the border.
I mean, it is, but this is like. Let me put it this. Okay, let me put it this way. You'd have to drive at least like half an hour to get to Maryland from where I was. Okay, and so this lady comes in.
I think that supports his argument. I hate to blow up your spot, Cosmic.
Not really.
But
No.
You have to drive half an hour to hit a state
Okay.
line.
To
Dude,
put it
if
into
your whole
context,
state is close to the border, Delaware must be a fucking homeland security nightmare. Like, holy
for
shit.
real. Well,
Not even Rhode
considering
Island, bro.
Considering Joe Biden lives here, yeah, it kind of is.
Is he really living though? Are we sure he's alive?
He's being held up somehow. So, he's
his eyes are open.
He's open.
I don't know if they are, bro. It's 8 o'clock.
Like the clothes.
It's like 8:30. He might be snoozing by now.
They put like the toothpicks to hold his eyes open and all that fun stuff.
It's like
just like the Scotch tape.
The Scotch tape. There we go. Or he's got the glasses that have the eyeballs on them. So this lady comes into, for context too, like to go from Delaware top to bottom is like 3 hours. So 30 minutes in Delaware is a significant amount of time.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So that is, like a sixth of the time that it takes to get through the state. So this lady comes into this store that's kind of in the heart of Delaware, and she goes, "Excuse me, do you carry the Baltimore Sun?" And I was like, "No, ma'am, we don't. Unfortunately, like we just have, the News Journal or the
Delaware Journal
Post or whatever it is." Yeah, whatever it is.
The Delaware Post.
And so she's like, "What part of Maryland am I in that you don't carry the Baltimore Sun?" And I was just like,
"Wow."
And I said to her, and I'm standing behind this cash register as like a 20-something-year-old, and I said, "Well, you're not in Maryland, so that would be why we don't have it." And she's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you're in Delaware right now." So, and then she just left, just like guffawing at me. And I'm like, I hate to.
You were responsible for her being in the middle of fucking Delaware.
For real, yeah. Like, that was, and like, if I had known Nestani at that point in my life, which he might have been like 3 or something, right? But that would have been a great time to be like, I hate to blow up your spot, but you are in Delaware right now.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
It's a
good use case.
It's really weird. Yeah. I remember there was one guy that got mad at me in that Walgreens because like I was emptying the trash at the front counter, and then I like walked away, and then he started yelling at me because I didn't wait on him, even though there was like a line to be waited on. And he was like, "I'm from Atlanta, but I'm just here on vacation." And I was like, and I really wanted to say to him, "Who vacations in Delaware, dude?"
Yeah.
Like, what do you like?
That's not even. That's just a great question.
Like, what are you trying to see? Asphalt?
I mean, the only thing you can see here is like Christiana Mall, and like I don't know. If
I thought you were
really
about to say Cristiano Ronaldo, and I would be like, "That's kind of hype."
No.
But
no.
Ronaldo has been Ronaldo and his fan base have been quarantined to the state of Delaware to prevent future contamination.
If Cristiano Ronaldo spent any more than like, if he ever put like boots on the ground in Delaware, I'd be like shocked. If his only time
Cristiano Ronaldo shows up
at a Walgreens in Delaware, new thumbnail title combination
with Zendaya.
Zendaya's just in the back, like in the window.
Good God, man! But yeah, no, it was so weird the characters we would get in there, and I mean, I understood it when I was in a store that was close to Maryland because we actually had Maryland newspapers there, and I was like, all right, fair enough, But no, just right in the heart of Delaware, it's like.
Yeah, in the heartland of Delaware.
I think probably the most depressing time of this was like when I was a teacher, like a teacher's aide in senior year of high school, and I was actually grading like 50 state tests for the social studies or history teacher.
And people in Delaware got Delaware wrong.
That one.
Yeah, that's pretty sad. That's pretty sad. Come on, guys. It's where you are right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a freebie.
Yeah.
That's where you are.
Mm-hmm.
How do you fuck that up?
My favorite was when they got like they got Delaware wrong, but they got Pennsylvania or Philadelphia correct, and then like New York as well. And I'm like, oh, we're just going for the trendy states, I guess. Not a state, but well, I mean, there were some people that like marked it on the map, like Philly, like I love Philly or something.
It's like cool.
It's like Philly, sick dude,
True.
Yeah,
it's probably because of like, there's a lot of like Philadelphia transplants here is the thing too, and also because like we don't have like a state team or anything, so a lot of like sports fandom.
You barely have
here,
a state.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, Maryland could annex us, and then people would be like, "Oh, we just thought that was the state," like we just thought that's how it always was. Because we're sort of like carved out of parts of Maryland, I guess. But it was like we like sports fandom here just goes a lot by like Maryland, or I'm sorry, by like Pennsylvania or Philadelphia, I guess. So there's a lot of like Phillies and Eagles fans here.
Fly, Eagles,
and then
fly.
Sometimes Ravens, but not really a whole lot of Orioles fans.
That's so Raven. Do you think Raven Simone?
Don't.
Do you think Raven
I have
Simone?
a pivot for us out of the the Delaware spin cycle that we're in right now.
My last.
Please get me out of here.
Honestly, my last
joke. You said your last one 4 times, bro.
Well, no, I was gonna just say my last joke related to Raven Simone was like, do you think that Raven Simone is responsible for helping Delaware ratify the U.S. Constitution first? But that was going to be where I ended it. So
okay. Do you all? You know what, Cosmic? Don't worry. I'm taking you away from Delaware, but I am going to give you another topic that you can just talk about for about 20 to 30 minutes straight, most likely. Do you all want to talk about the I hate games or stop killing, murdering people games? We haven't talked about that yet, and I have no fucking clue what it's about because I don't care. But maybe I should care, you know.
It's a little it's ongoing. It like broke out and then it's been kind of like going, but then simultaneously it's also kind of led to like,
and also everyone
I don't want to call it the
shoot pirate software with a gun apparently.
Yeah.
It's good.
So here is what I will say about Stop Killing Games is like, I think it's I only have like a surface level knowledge of this.
Oh, do you want me to like just lay the groundwork then? Because
you can go ahead and lay the groundwork, and then I'll talk about pirate software and stuff. So
all right. So Stop Killing Games.
On pirate software.
I'm not gonna shit on them.
So one thing you need to understand about video games and why things have gotten to the way they are is because 99% of the time, when you buy a video game, you don't actually buy the game. You buy a license to be able to download and play the game. Right? So you don't actually own the thing.
Boo.
Right? And so
correct.
Because of that, companies can revoke that license if you don't like meet their end user license agreement. So it's like they can revoke your ability to play a game if you like cheat in Valorant or something like that. You know, shit like that, right?
Nintendo bricking your entire console. Smile.
Yes, exactly. So it's like
Sony also does that too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but like Sony's lame.
Yeah, so there's that component, right? But the big thing with Stop Killing Games comes with respect to games with online components or requirements to be online, right? And the argument is that a lot of times what will happen is these live service games will reach the end of their life, and then developers will stop support it. So like developers will have like servers or run online or rank or whatever the fuck it is, right? But then the game gets to a point where it's no longer affordable for them to support it anymore, or they got to start supporting their next live service game or whatever the fuck. Like
so, like
Smite
basically like
Smite
Call
2.
of Duties, right? How they just always
Call of Duties are a great example of this, exactly. Where it's like, even though you have bought the game, you've bought a license to play the game, you can no longer play it anymore because it is online only. Like Titanfall 1 is another great example where it's like you can't really play Titanfall. Well, you might still be able to. I don't know. But it's like because of that, you can buy a game and then eventually it will be left in a state where you can no longer make use of what you have purchased, essentially. Because it is required to be online. And even some single player games where it's like it is required to be online and be connected to their online services. And when those services are no longer available, you now have a product that you can't do anything with.
Isn't that like Suicide Squad game? Wasn't that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
The one that got canceled, right? And so the idea behind Stop Killing Games is that it's sort of like an idea where developers need to leave their games in a state where they can continue to be played, even if they're not necessarily able to support it themselves. So that doesn't necessarily mean they have to keep the lights on and keep those big, expensive servers running all the time, but there needs to be some sort of way where the end user can still interact with the product that they purchased. So, for example, maybe let's take something like a Call of Duty game, for example, where the online goes down because they want you to play the new Call of Duty, right? So with the old Call of Duty, what they're looking for is like, for example, be like, hey, make it so that we can host our own servers, or add peer-to-peer matchmaking for some, like Rivals of Aether 1 is a good example where it's like, yeah, it's not really being actively supported, but you can always play it online because it's peer-to-peer matchmaking and it doesn't rely on servers the same way, right? And so a lot of these live service game models are being developed in such a way where they don't build those contingencies for people to be able to play it long after end of support, end of life. And that's what Stop Killing Games is about. They want to prevent that from happening. So if somebody makes a purchase, then they have access to that thing that they purchased, right? That's the fundamental idea behind what Stop Killing Games is, essentially. And so what they're doing specifically is trying to get I forget the exact type or language on this type of petition, but it's essentially this big sort of like EU type of petition for this type of policy to get looked at, where if enough people sign it, then like the governance within EU legally have to look at it, right? And this has potentially big consequences, because if something gets in the EU signed into law, then it's a huge incentive for devs to potentially make changes, because the EU is a pretty damn big fucking market. So if it changes in the EU, it's pretty likely that it would change elsewhere for other parts of the world as well. So that's why a lot of like people in the States are also really invested in this, because our government fucking sucks and would never do something like this. So like this is our chance to maybe have some sort of external pressure create the change that we want to see in the world, right? And so that's kind of like the gist of what Stop Killing Games is. It wasn't really a bit like, it was a thing, but it had kind of stalled on momentum for it until Pirate Software. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'll stop there. Go ahead.
I have a question. So I've been like seeing a lot of like part of the thing is like creating like an end of life cycle for like games. Is that basically just what you're saying, like with the self-hosting thing, or okay? I thought
as long as
I was just gonna say that I read that as like people just wanted to know when the things were gonna shut down, not like the like being able to self-host. I did not know that's what that meant. So that
and it can look different ways, right? It could look like self-hosting. It could look like something that's what's called peer-to-peer. And what that basically means is instead of like a server that's being like hosted on Amazon AWS or whatever that players connect to, what peer-to-peer means is players connect peer-to-peer, literally. They just connect directly to each other.
Yeah.
So like if I'm playing Slippy, for example, I could connect, well, I don't know if Slippy works this way, but like in like Melee Netplay or Dolphin Netplay, for example, I don't connect to a server. We connect to each other. Right? That's what peer-to-peer is. And that's a system that whatever game development company doesn't have, like, as long as it's implemented, they don't have the overhead of running a server cost, because it's the clients that are connecting together, right? It's the players that are connecting together. They're not connecting to the server and then the server's giving all the info, right? That's what people are looking for, because it's like there are ways of doing this in a way that is cost effective. But a lot of times companies don't want to let people host their own servers, because then people will be more incentivized to create custom shit. That happens, sometimes with like custom servers, I think it happens with like Valve games and
TF2, yeah.
TF2 is a great example, but they actively encourage that, and that's why their community is still playing this old ass fucking game that they've abandoned.
20-year-old game.
But
yeah. They've stopped active support of it.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. So I mean, this also kind of harkens back to what you were talking about with the EU too. It's like how they got Apple to stop using, like Lightning ports in the EU, and they had to switch over to USB-C.
USB-C.
Yeah. So that was
very similar situation.
Hey, don't worry. Some now pretty you have 2.0
pretty
ports.
Good,
fucking 10
pretty
years
good
behind.
actionable like stuff going on too. Were you like finished, or did you?
Yeah, well, and the whole thing is this is a pro-consumer thing. Like the idea of this is to benefit consumers. And honestly, as like it's one of those things where it really shouldn't be something that costs companies a lot if they plan and scope for it. But the problem is they don't want to plan and scope for it. Yeah. Because companies are already bad at planning and scoping in fucking general, just based on what I've seen. as someone who I'm not in the game dev industry in the sense of like I have worked there, but it's like, I went to school, I've talked to a lot of people, I have seen how people move and operate, I have seen how elders talk and operate, and that is the conclusion that I have come to.
Yeah, we even see sort of inklings of like, I guess not very much forward thinking in terms of like, even as far back as the PS1, just deleting source code off of databases for games that like were, out. Like the source code for Final Fantasy VIII doesn't exist anymore. And the source code for
it's
Kingdom
a matter
Hearts
of
1,
preservation too, exactly.
Yeah. Kingdom Hearts 1, like the remasters that we get of Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, I think, but at least Kingdom Hearts 1 is that team rebuilding that game from the ground up. They're not using like the original source code as far as I'm aware, because it all got deleted off of like wherever Squaresoft was hosting it. So we even see like, this lack of preservation, this lack of forward thinking and I don't know if that was like the developers deciding to do that, or if that was like corporate going, well, just delete this thing and let's just move on to the next project. Like we don't know the inner workings there, but there is that lack of foresight basically for games. And like, even something like the old PC ports for the Silent Hill games, not working great on new hardware, or like Strider 2014 having extremely weird quirks with being installed on larger hard drives, or being run on a core that is more, or like a CPU that's more than 8 cores, stuff like that. Like
so stupid.
it just sometimes there's weird things that happen, and like the big thing really is just keep the game that we paid for playable. Obviously, people are not gonna want to play everything forever, but it's the principle that matters here in this case. And I actually don't know why like Pirate Software really just came out like so vehemently against this thing. There was something that like was kind of detailed to me like a while ago, and I just totally forgot, because I'll say one thing is like, this dude has burned like so much goodwill that he built up over the last couple of years. And it's really interesting to see, I guess, because like for the last year or two, this Pirate Software guy has been like this wholesome, big chungus developer or whatever, like wholesome good vibes guy that, people will look to for like, people will like look to for like life advice just randomly in the shorts, and all that sort of stuff. And now it's like, I've seen like 10 different, videos about him just come across my feed of people like just digging in to get their ad revenue while he's a hot topic to diss on.
I've actually been following that a little bit closer than I normally would for this type of situation, just because I was curious. But just to kind of give you all kind of the time, a little bit of the timeline is that Pirate Software is not in support of this Stop Killing Games movement. Yeah. And I don't quite fully grasp whatever his specific reasons that he has stated are, other than
I don't really either.
He's coming probably from the developer background and he thinks it would be a negative thing. That's his opinion. I could the reason why I'm not going into detail about that is because of something I'll talk about later, which is like, I don't think he's necessarily arguing in good faith. And I also don't think he is a reliable narrator. And I think he's manipulative.
I would say
so. It's like me trying to like go and dig and trying to find that shit is just kind of me sending myself further into his own shithole, and I don't really care to do that. But to give you kind of my perspective on why I think he is so against something like this, there's 2 components to it. There's his background, and then there's the narcissism component, which that's a whole nother thing. So background. So he used to work at Blizzard. So if you don't know who Blizzard is for some fucking reason, they make World of Warcraft and a fuck ton of live service shit.
What, bro?
I mean,
wake up! It's get out from your rock.
Right?
They're one of the most legendary companies in gaming. Like, you should know.
Exactly.
Who they are.
You should know who the
Sure.
Sorry.
It was just funny that like there's
Blizzard.
so much ire towards the person that doesn't know who Blizzard is versus like just the ire towards Blizzard itself for like fucking like sexually
'Cause some
harassing
people-
women
you never
for their
know.
True,
entire
yeah.
history. Like,
Okay. All right. Let's settle down. So
I'm settled.
Blizzard,
I'm sad.
right? So the thing with Pirate Software is he didn't work on like the game design team, or like he worked in QA and he worked in like cybersecurity. So like from shit like banning cheater, and this is all stuff that he says. I don't think he's the most trustworthy, but this is stuff that he says. So let's just, for now, take it at face value. Is he worked like on like the cybersecurity side of shit, like with regards to like the World of Warcraft shit, right? So he is invested in the live service shit because you know that's his background, right? That's like the stuff he's worked with and worked on. But he's also not really a designer, and he's not like, I mean, he is, but like, well, I'll talk about that later. So, okay, so
this guy's a bitch.
But the thing is he's AAA background, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, it kind of makes sense that someone from AAA background who, like, I don't think he worships AAA, but, you know, he's like, that's his background and that's what he knows. Of course, it makes sense that he would kind of be in favor of that. And then at the time, he was also like worked for Off-Brand Games, who was publishing Rivals of Aether 2, which is also a live service game. So at the time, you could also see it as kind of like I would argue a conflict of interest, because, you know, he's like, oh, well, if this live service thing happens, then it's going to affect this product that I'm working on, right? Which, you know, there should be, I would argue that
because
Rivals,
I would say...
Yeah, Rivals 1 has peer-to-peer, so it's, or at least I think it does, right? So it's like, for, you know, for a fighting game, it's pretty cut and dry, but, you know, whatever, right? So he has that perspective. So, like, for one, like, he's kind of coming from a place of bias already, because he's, like, coming from that AAA sort of corporate perspective. And he also has, like, that kind of implicit bias with regards to the game he was working on at the time. He is no longer working at Off-Brand Games, because he left of his own accord to, I assume, not sink the ship, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's more to that. Who knows? Who fucking knows, right? So the other thing is that Pirate Software is pretty fucking clearly a narcissist. I mean, when you're in any kind of form of content creation, as Nestani has said in the past, it kind of lends itself to those types of personalities. Look at Nestani being right and shit all along.
I'm not a narcissist, by the way, guys. It's crazy.
I think one of the most, like,
but
and
I'm
that's
right,
part of the
and
reason.
I love being
right.
right.
And something I heard from, I don't remember who said it or what video it was in, but it was like someone made like the idea, pointed out that a part of the reason that he might not fuck with this is the idea that somebody else had an idea that was right and he can't stand being wrong. Like, if you look at his like conduct online,
I don't really
and
buy
like
that
behavior, I don't. Right,
I think that's too far-fetched.
I probably
I will now
but
push
it's
back
like,
on that one.
Fair enough. But so let's put that aside. But if you like, part of why I don't take what he says too seriously is that he's just a fucking huge narcissist, right? Like, if you look at his patterns of like, if you look at the patterns of how he talks, he never admits he's wrong. He never apologizes for fucking shit.
Yeah.
And like, he's just a dick, right?
Yeah. Cook him.
He's just a dick, right?
Yeah.
And so
a small
and like
one.
the amount of times where, and here's the funniest fucking part too. He talks about all the time where I worked at Blizzard for 7 years. I worked at Blizzard for 7 years. He starts like every other fucking YouTube short with it. And then it's like, the reason he worked at Blizzard is because his dad worked at Blizzard. He's a fucking Nepo hire. Like, I mean, he's not like some God-given fucking saint at QA or security or like game design and dev. He's a fucking Nepo hire. And like, you know, and it's like he keeps like basically bringing up this shit over and over.
I'll push back on that in a moment. So
yeah,
but my thing is I think probably the most illuminating thing that I saw as a part of like me coming to that conclusion of his insane narcissism is he actually did I think at least one segment with Dr. K. And
he's
like
done a ton.
Oh, he's done a couple. Okay,
he had a huge conversation with him.
Yeah,
he had a huge conversation with him.
Yeah, like, Cole loves
it's very weirdly like with present context, the most recent conversation they had, it's fascinatingly like predictive. Like it's kind of eerie how like predictive it is.
Because Dr. K kind of very well picks up on his like those narcissistic tendencies, right? And it's like, but like Dr. K has to kind of approach it in a certain way and sort of reel him back in with certain like rhetorical devices to keep his attention, because he knows that like with someone like Pirate Software that he'll kind of just like hunker down and, you know, shut out what you're saying if you like phrase it certain ways or like you call him on that shit, you know, right? So it's like
Go ahead, Cole.
The interesting thing about that particular conversation too was that if you look back at that stream that they did, I think it was in May, Dr. K, he was literally like, should we not talk about this? Or like he's already pretty careful with his words, but then he was like super careful with his words because he was like, if we have this kind of conversation, I'm afraid that people will use it as kind of like ammunition against you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
because he knows the
that's
space.
Exactly. And that's kind of exactly what happened. But we don't need to talk about
never be vulnerable.
This subject because you're kind of psychoanalyzing the guy at this point.
Yeah,
and I don't think
I will
we should
stoop
do that too much. But
we know we've heard you stoop that low for the past 5 minutes.
I don't really care.
There is some just like with I have briefly looked at some of like the things that happened before this like whole incident came about, and it seemed like that he was like undergoing like a lot of shit and trying to like prove him wrong. Like there was stuff about like stuff with his ex-wife or stuff with an old coworker or whatever, and like all this other drama, and he like banned like 300 the population of Delaware from his stream. Like, he basically like he was in defense mode, or that's what I'm trying to get at. Is that
I understand what you're saying.
That he was. I feel like if this just whatever it's called, the just
stop killing games.
Yeah, stop killing games. If this happened maybe like a year ago, I mean it's hard to say, but maybe we would have had a little bit of a tamer response to this. Maybe we've still disagreed, and I'm not defending him in any way in terms of like what he has said and done in his actions and stuff. But it is just kind of interesting to think about, like I feel like he was kind of in this defense mode, and so like he's now used to having to go out like full force trying to defend himself, which is not good.
Especially on the internet.
I'm not gonna I'm not gonna psychoanalyze the guy or anything, but it's an interesting thing to think about. I don't know.
Like my thing is that's not how I go about talking to people or about people when I'm in that defense mode. Like maybe I'm not trying to.
Yeah, but you're you and he's
him. I'd like to think that I have the maturity to like.
I mean,
adjust the way that I talk to people and not be a dick. Like,
I mean, so my whole thing with
is that such an unfair standard? Like, am I
no,
crazy?
It's not.
My whole thing with Pirate Software is that I stopped fucking with this guy after he had a conversation with Asmongold about WoW and then wanted to play the no politics card with people. So that was when I was just like, I'm good, dude. I see what's going on here. I don't think Pirate Software is a bigot. I just don't think you can.
He just wants a bag.
Yeah, I don't think you can talk to somebody like Asmongold and play the no politics card. You're drawing a line in the sand at that point.
Yeah.
I don't like Asmongold very much, if that's not clear.
Oh, we know.
But the other thing too is that
fair, like who likes Asmon anyway?
Well, there's a lot of people, unfortunately.
True.
The thing with Pirate Software really is that when he was,
I'm gonna send it a lot of people that look exactly like Cosmic.
That's mean.
Dude.
I felt a little too far.
That's like meaner than anything I've said in like the last 7 episodes, bro.
Wow. There you go.
Dude.
Audio listeners, he has taken off his headphones and is leaving the room.
He has walked out of the door. He has slammed his door shut.
I don't fucking blame him. That was bad, man.
That was really evil. Like, that wasn't even...
It's only evil because it's like kind of true.
What the fuck, bro?
Dude, this reminds me of when
Look, I know he got no bitches, but that doesn't mean he's an incel. Like, come on, man.
I didn't call him. Yeah. I said the people that like Asmongold look like him. I didn't say he was one. I just stereotyped him. I just white guy stereotyped him, okay? Like, I love stereotyping white people.
Listen.
You incel washed him, bro. That's crazy.
I had a similar thing back when I worked at the movie theater and I weighed like 300
Cosmic, I just want you to say that Jack said that I incel washed you, and I think that's the greatest statement of all time. Anyway, as you were saying, okay. No,
he just had to go back.
Yeah, okay. I think he's being an active listener for a moment. I think he's holding his tongue.
Okay.
I think... God, where fucking even were we?
Well, we were talking about pirate software, and basically pirate software was talking to Asmongold. And
we were talking about like Asmongold and him being like an asshole or whatever.
Yeah.
Or just
as per usual.
He's also just he's basically a right winger at this point.
Well, he is.
Pipeline type of shit.
Yeah.
But he just want to point out the interesting thing of remember like 5 minutes ago or whatever before Salty completely just dunked on Cosmic that Jax was like, I feel like I would be mature enough and stuff to like not let my emotions get in the way of it, right? The very ironic thing is that some of the first shorts I ever saw of this guy and some of the first conversations I heard of this guy with Dr. K was him saying, don't let your emotions control you. And he went on this whole long conversation about how he does not have a great relationship with his mother because she was the kind of person to act on her emotions and not act on logic.
Oh, that's such a huge fucking red flag. If I hear somebody say some shit like that, that's like...
That is pretty bad. Yeah.
That's really bad, dude.
I might be paraphrasing poorly, so
that might be just misogynistic.
Take it as gospel.
That's crazy.
It is. That's the thing, is that it is.
No, I don't... Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is, but I didn't get like the vibe of it like that. It is a misogynistic statement,
but he doesn't necessarily have to be a misogynist, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just a statement that is misogynistic intrinsically.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you were saying, Cosmic.
So what do you guys think the age of consent
dog shit. Pirate Software was talking to him, and we were talking about fuck Pirate Software. There you go. I teed you up.
Well, I just made an incel joke, and then y'all talked over it. So whatever.
Okay. I mean, you can make it again. Actually, I can mute all of us, and everyone can hear it. How about that?
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. So I sat down, and I just decided to be like, so what do you guys think the age of consent should be? So. So I'm never recovering from that, by the way.
Yeah.
So sorry for your loss.
Yeah, dude. The whole reason, like this whole pirates, I just kind of.
He was about to talk. Let the man talk.
Oh, you were. I'm sorry. I thought you were.
The past 5 minutes.
It sounded. I'm sorry. It sounded like you were trailing off. I didn't mean to pull.
Oh no, you're good.
No, you're
go ahead. No, you're good. You're good. I was kind of just going before launching, so I understand.
Yeah.
But so something that people have to understand about Pirate Software is I don't necessarily think he's a nepo baby, because the first time that he got hired at Blizzard, he has admitted that it was because of his dad. So that was like a 6 month or something, or like a year internship, and then he came back again and just got hired on like his own merits, basically. And he worked in like QA, or he worked in security or whatever. The other thing too that I think we need to understand is that like, in terms of like actually working for the company, he apparently did pretty good work. So whether or not he got hired as a form of nepotism is mostly a moot point at this point, because he did good work while he was there for them. And
also,
like,
I just think broadly the whole nepotism thing is kind of overblown and just kind of bullshit.
Well, it depends, really. Because I think it depends on whether or not that person proves that the privilege that they use the privilege that they're given.
Exactly.
Right? But there's so many
because everyone networks, you know.
Yeah, everybody networks, and like there's families of like actors, right? They're all really good actors. It'd be one thing if like somebody got, hired as a nepo,
like blew
like
chunks.
a nepo hire. And yeah, they blew chunks.
Like, is it a Bronny James situation, or is it like?
I don't know.
Well, the thing is, Bronny James is good. He's just not his father, and people just keep putting this he is a second round pick, and people are treating him like he's like a top 1 pick in the draft, and it's like it's just not. Like at best, he's going to be a good rotation player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's his ceiling. Like no one and people that. Like, yeah, sure, he definitely got drafted to the Lakers specifically because he was there in the second round. And Bron was like, hey, I would like to play with my son. It would be cool. But I think that Bronny would have been drafted regardless. Like, if the Lakers didn't take him, he was going to get drafted. Like, he's just good enough. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
Another example recently is Maya Hawke from Stranger Things. She's the daughter of Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman. But I think it's probably undeniable that she probably got better opportunities to be in stuff than most people did because of who her parents are.
Yeah.
But I think we can also agree.
As long as you put in the effort and you're good, you know what I mean? I don't think it really matters.
Yeah.
It's only when it's undeserved and you don't give a shit about it and like then
to Jaxler's point.
Nepo better be bad.
Yeah. Now to Jaxler's point, this guy, Pirate Software, does start like half his fucking YouTube shorts with, I worked at Blizzard for X amount of time. But then there's like another YouTube short or another like clip where he's like, I literally never talk about it. And it's like, no, you do. Like, you do talk about it a decent amount, dude. And honestly, I'd find it weirder if he spent as much time as he did at a company that legendary and didn't talk about it. Yeah. Then I would probably raise some flags like, why aren't you talking about this work that you did?
I think a big part of where the nepotism allegations come from is, so for those who don't know anything about the guy, he works on a personal like indie game project called Heartbound. Yeah. Which is very Undertale core. That's just the best way I can describe it.
I agree.
And he has been working on this game for fucking years. There was like a Kickstarter for it. And like that got funded or what have you, and there's a whole lot to that I can't care to explain. But the important thing is that it's taken him forever to do it. He works on it on stream occasionally, and it's still not done. And so like there's some resentment from people who have backed the game where it's just like, can you finish the fucking game? That type of shit, right? So like because of that, and because he's been under so much scrutiny because of his just like, I would argue, overblown reaction towards all this stop killing games shit. People have started digging into his source code for this game, and it's kind of dog shit. Like, and I want to be very clear, you don't need.
So is Undertale.
So is Undertale, exactly. And you don't need to be a great coder to make a great game, but it's like, when you're someone like Pirate Software who
when you're talking with authority though, like you kind of
when you're talking with authority as someone who's like, I worked at Blizzard, or it's just like, I have XYZ experience, I know a lot about XYZ, and then you look at all this and it's just like there have been several YouTubers who have been doing like code reviews of his shit, and it's just it's
there is a YouTube short though. There is a YouTube short though where he talks about how you don't necessarily have to have a great code to have a great game, and he encourages people to just like get started on it and like do it. And I think that
I would agree with that.
I think that's like, here's the thing too, is that to what people saw of Pirates, we'll just call it Thor, right? Because that's his name.
That's what he goes by.
What people saw of Thor for all these years was curated like 30 seconds to a minute clips. And like, I've not really tuned into the guy's streams, but it's pretty clear that he started moving away from like the game dev stuff and started moving towards variety when it was clear that was how he was going to make money. And so like, he'll probably finish the game eventually. It's just now with everything else that's accelerated in his life and how he has to make content the priority, the things have kind of shifted. I don't think for a minute that he's not like grateful, because I saw the like update that he gave when he like first really blew up, and he was like, he has like a ferret shelter or something,
Yeah.
And he was like, I just want you guys to know that like this was like a 3 to 5 year plan that I had to like expand all of this and like provide all this room for these animals. And now with all the money that you've given me, it's going to be more like 3 to 5 months. You know, I think that he's pretty grateful for what he's gotten. It's just that now there's a point where he is on such a huge platform that in this day and age, when you speak with authority and you like through history, we've seen so much like confident mediocrity, right? And I don't think he's like mediocre, right? But if there's even an inkling of that, you know, if there's even an inkling of that, then people will just take it and run with it, right? So now the greatest sin on the planet that Pirate Software has committed is like being pretentious and annoying, right?
Yep.
So now that's why people get like 50K to 800K views on these video essays, is because people are so ready to just dunk on this dude for having like this attitude. And I think honestly, there's two things that I think are way more annoying or way worse than him being like pretentious and annoying sometimes, which is the conversation with Asmongold where again he tries to play no politics, and two, when he like actively told people to not support Stop Killing Games. And regardless of whether or not you agree with a movement like Stop Killing Games, as a person on a platform, you should not be telling people to just like unilaterally not accept this. You should be encouraging your viewers to be educated about why or why not they agree with a movement like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially when your whole content for so many years is educating your viewers.
Like, educating your viewers and like game development, you know? And it's one of those weird things where like I think I could probably sit down with this dude and have like a cool time at a bar or something, or have a cool time like chilling.
Hey Thor,
with
do you
him,
want to come on the podcast?
Right.
We'll have you on.
We'll talk to you. Yeah, I will.
We can also
Absolutely.
kick Jax off if you want, and it can just be
What
us
the
three.
fuck?
I mean, you spent the whole dogging on the guy. I don't know if he doesn't want you here.
You don't want me to play hardball? I'll play hardball. I don't give a fuck.
Actually, that might be better content. That might be better content, to be honest.
Yeah.
So.
That's true. Pirate Software versus Jaxler 1. Who wins?
Oh boy!
Get him in a boxing match. Let's go.
Jaxler's gonna be like, I've forgotten more about 3D platformers than you'll ever know, and then Thor just loses it, dude. Just loses it. But anyway,
it is
so
a strange thing that I've thought about this for a little bit, but this is one of many events that has brought it into view. Is like we were saying earlier, like this guy's whole like persona in a sense, because like
the curated version of himself, pretty much.
Yeah,
it's not really
like, I don't think that the person
pretty
who is
clear.
on camera is him, kind of thing.
Let's be pretty clear. Like the long form version of him, or like the version of him in his streams, you really only get like that's the stuff that's in the shorts. That's like just a part of it. Like there's parts of this wholesome Chungus developer or whatever in there, but that's not like who he is. But you know, like it's most of the time.
Interesting because that's the way that people get introduced to him. That is the thing that allowed people to grow. And it's interesting that because you grew in that fashion, you have something to upkeep, and now that there's this other side of you that has not been upkept, it's like completely shambled. Because then you have somebody like, this is just off the top of my head, Schlatt. He's like the total opposite in the sense where he literally tells his viewers like, fuck you, I'm here to pay rent. Like, and it's sort of like playing into that kind of character a little bit. And so like it's sort of like a different attitude to how the audience views you. And I think one of the most interesting tests of this in a way is with the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel, because that guy is like super whooper, like same kind of wholesome vibe or whatever, but his channel never had comments on it. So there was like, you couldn't just scroll down on the video and see somebody be like, actually, to make a TED, you have to do this, and blah, 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 blah. Like, that didn't exist. Like, sure, there were shorts that other people made of his content, and that is a way that he blew up. But it was a weird side effect of not having comments, is the fact that, like, nobody had to look at, like, the other potential, like how other people perceive the content.
Opinions.
It's just how you...
Yeah.
So it was like...
It's a way more honest version.
Yeah, and it's super. I thought about this for a little bit.
Well, I mean,
just because
honesty,
it's like
is still honesty,
I'm trying to grow,
right?
and I don't want this kind of scenario to happen where it's like you think I'm somebody else that I'm not, and then like if you see that kind of different lens, then you'll be like flabbergasted or whatever. But what are you gonna say, Nestani?
Yeah, I just gonna kind of bounce off of you. I think the biggest thing that I've noticed, because I don't watch pirate software because I don't like content creators that have his persona, which his persona to me, outside looking in, because I keep tabs on people, but his whole persona to me is like, I'm super positive, comfy, cozy, uplifting. Wow, this is such a chill stream. I hate that shit. First of all. Second of all, but also the thing with those type of streamers, when they're just like comfy, cozy, super positive, they basically give you like a glass sheen of like, I'm perfect, like whatever. Like there's no nicks in the armor. That's
what the mask is.
As soon as there's one minor crack, like one little crevice, everyone's going into that. And everyone's going to try to tear you down as quickly as possible.
People don't like they don't like the
also
thought
people
that
just don't like the semblance of perfection. And a lot of people just like get mad at people like that. Just overall, just multiple streamers that I've seen happen to. But I think just a little comment is that I think a lot of this hate that Pirate Software is getting is just because of that front that he gives, of that he's like, chill, comfy, cozy, super positive, and people just want to find a way to tear down people like that because they don't like that, because they themselves aren't like that, right? And obviously many more layers, but I just kind of want to point that out.
I don't
and
know
just
if I fully
kind
agree,
of
but I understand what you're trying to say.
test the waters there, because like ultimately, like obviously, like you could say what you want about him, but I do think that is another reason why this is waving so hard back on him. Yeah. Again, I'm not defending him or anything. I'm just pointing out that
there's legitimate and illegitimate reasons to be upset with the guy. I think.
I think it just makes the wave a bit larger.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I think too, think about this, right? Like, whenever somebody that's like generally a pretty shitty person online says something like that's like a stopped watch moment, right? Everybody reacts like super positively to this and it's like, yo, based or whatever, even if like that person is super shitty, right? Like I remember there was a point where Low Tier God was basically saying like trans rights and everybody's like, yo, Low Tier God is based now. And then it's like, no, dude, he's still a shitty person. He's just doing like the bare minimum, or whatever. And it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, no, yeah. It's just like, no, dude, he's not a good person. Like, we're not gonna do this. Like, his humor is based on him being shitty. Like,
I know, but
it's just how it is, right?
It's so funny because that he means it, but it's so funny.
Yeah. That is true. That is
so
fair.
much irony.
I remember when he was playing L.I. Joe in Street Fighter V, and one half of that, because it was cutting back and forth between their feeds, the YouTube video that I saw, and like L.I. Joe is like laughing and jumping up and down and having a great time between rounds. And like Low Tier God is just sitting there just like angry with his controller in his hands, like, I am playing perfectly. I got footsies. I got combos. Like he's just going over all this shit, and it's just like,
so good.
Nah, bro, you're just fucking miserable.
Content king, bro. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's so, and it's like, it's so weird because people should not be supportive of like these stopped watch moments.
Oh, definitely not.
That is like objectively just like a piece of shit, right? But everybody wants to hop online and be like, oh my god, oh shit, and it's just like, no, dude. And then again, we flip that persona on its head, where it is a person that has generally put up a positive, outlook or a positive perception. One crack, and everybody's diving in, everybody's making video essays, blah blah blah, and it's just
I think there's also just such a dissonance too between that idea of that positive cozy vibes persona and the way that Pirate Software has reacted to everything that's been going on.
There's a lot of doubling down, I think, going on his end.
There's a lot of doubling down. There's just a lot, keeping a ban counter on your stream, I think is just
I didn't know he was doing that.
Insane.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's content. That's good.
Way.
That's
kind of
it's content, but it's also just like, there's a dissonance between that element of the positivity versus he's basically like it's a heel turn, and
he's becoming
my thing is I don't like or trust people who are like two-faced like that. And that also just means I don't trust most content creators, because you kind of, if you make content, you have to put a face on. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, he's racist against content creators, but he's trying to become one.
Yeah, but it's like, it's one of those things, right? Where like there's levels to it though, right? So it's like, if you're like an altered, obviously you should protect yourself, but if you're, at the end of the day, your values are your values, and those will shine through, right? But when like you have that big of a jarring, at least to me, jarring of a flip-flop, it's, to me it says at least something. Go ahead.
I also think that there is another layer to this where, like, again, I did preface my statement with this: I don't watch him. This is what I perceive from the outside looking in, right? And I think a lot of times that people have, they have these pictures of these streamers of what they are, but they don't actually watch their content, which I think kind of goes into this, where like maybe it's shocking from the outside that he flips like this, but maybe if you're a Pirate Software head and you watch him all the time, you'll be like, actually, this makes a lot of sense. I'm not saying that it does,
I've heard inklings of that. Yeah,
but it's just a possibility, because like there's been so many times where bringing back Mango, you know what I mean? There's been so many times where like me and Jax have had debates about Mango, obviously prior to the incident. But like just a lot of things where like Jax would say something about like how he would talk about Armada, like, because there's the Armada Mango beef, right? And he was basically saying all these things, and I was like, well, no, actually what he said was this, and this is actually how it is. But if you're not there watching him all the time, you don't know that, because there's so much nuance that gets lost by the time it trickles down to Twitter to 140 characters.
Yeah. But you can't. Right? You also can't expect people to like be that tapped, which is part of it.
I don't, right? But the thing is, what I'm saying is that like I think a lot of people just have to remember that like, when you really want to find out something, especially about like streamer drama or like whatever, you really have to like dig in. You can't just gloss on the surface and be like, oh, this is probably how it is, because like, I don't know. I think a lot of times, because of the nature of streaming, it's a long form thing. Cutting it down to like a thing doesn't really work, especially when streamers are masters at stalling and extending what the fuck they're talking about for so long. Right. And I don't know. I just always, I don't like the notion that people like kind of cut the chase or just don't actively listen to the person that they're dogging on. Because I'm like, if you're going to dog on this person, you need to listen to what they're saying and then very specifically dog on them for very specific reasons. Like, I don't like glossing over things and being like, well, I think he might have said this, or like, whatever, this is what I read. I'm like, what did he say? And after we get what we said, now let's dog on him for the thing, right? Which, I understand that a lot of people don't want to do that because it takes a lot of effort. But as someone who has been, I've been a Twitch product since 2014. Like, I have been in the space. I've followed like every single drama of all time because I like drama. But like the thing about that is that what that has taught me is that like you have to go in and watch everything yourself. Because people are fucking stupid on the internet, and they're just going to believe what they believe. And depending on where your preconceived notions are, you're just going to believe one side over the other, and you're not even going to pretend to have any nuance, which I think is a thing that lacks. Obviously, I think in this scenario, he's kind of clearly wrong. But I just wanted to bring up that layer because whenever we talk about like streamer stuff, I feel like people always like forget that fact of just like,
no, I get that.
For sure.
Go to the source and read the source. It's just like anything else, like, with politics or with whatever, like you need to go to reliable sources. And the most reliable source for knowing what a streamer is saying is the streamer. So even if you don't like them, you got to click on it and be like, all right, like what's up? Yeah. You know what I mean? But that's my little speech.
Right. No, I get that. And to be fully transparent too, I didn't really bring it up because it wasn't really relevant to the stop playing games aspect of the conversation. I think it got blown up a bit more just because
it's Pirate
Software's been under such scrutiny. But there was like a DM leak where he like had like was like in DMs with one of his mods on stream, and he pulled the Discord window open, where it was so I think Pirate Software broke like the hype train record or whatever on Twitch.
He did,
right?
Yes.
And
I think Iron Mouse might have gotten it back, but yes, he broke that.
Yeah, and then there was something right there. But basically, like there was like a conversation we had with what I assume is one of his mods, and I need to go back and kind of relook at all of that info again, but basically kind of alluding to the fact that the mod was on an alternate account, kind of funneling bits and stuff and subs into the hype train, and then was
I believe
alluded, like potentially like getting recompensated by Pirate Software himself for that.
I mean,
so
I think like funding your own hype train, like I don't know. I feel like if you're trying to break the record, I feel like that's a good way to do it. If you already have the money, you might as well.
Optimal, I'm sure, but I thought it was a little scummy when I heard about that.
Yeah, it's less genuine.
I just thought it was genuine.
Yeah,
at like a very minimum.
Yeah,
I just thought it was scummy. So it's like that kind of colors my. Yeah, but it's like I don't know if like more things have come out since then, since I last looked at it. But it's just like I'm just saying that to be transparent because I think that partially colors. You know, like
you're okay. Yeah.
I
get you.
I don't fuck with dishonesty or like misleading or misrepresentation, because like as far as I was aware, there was no indication that this alt was the mods. You know, it's like like why are we obfuscating this? You know, if you want to be if you want to do that and sell out, then fuck it, right? Like who cares? But like obviously you're hiding it, so it's like I don't know. And this is just to my point where it's just like. I don't fuck with dishonesty. I don't really fuck with that level of obfuscation of who you are and what you're doing, you know? And that's just, everyone else is going to have a different line for that type of shit, right? And I'm not telling you to follow my line to a T or follow Nestani's line to a T, but it's just like, I'm just explaining where I'm coming from a little bit, if that makes sense.
For sure. Yeah. I think it's interesting. It's an interesting point because like, I would ask him, like, why would he think he would need to do that? Like, would there be a different perception if, like, a mod was just gifting bits or, like, you know, subs or whatever? Like, the mod could be doing it, like, on their main account and then be getting compensated by him on the back end. Nobody's got to know that, right? You know, like, it can just be, like, them trying to feed the hype train and then it comes off more genuine, you know, or whatever.
Shoot, you got things like, you know, when the Yeti donates at GDQ, you know, it's like
exactly, yeah. Right. So it's an interesting sort of like, I guess, detail. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just have a problem with like the amount of like dogpiling and like reiteration of points that I see about this guy. Cause again, like outside of like a few pretty steep falls, a lot of the things that he's like guilty of are just being like annoying, you know?
At what point is it a fruitful exercise, right? And that kind of leads back to the whole crux of this, is that because Pirate Software was so aggro about this, it actually, like, the petition itself was stalling in signature,
and it shot back up because he gave
and then it shot back up as soon as he talked about it,
and there was that.
Exactly, right? So that's the whole even reason it gets brought up in the first place with regards to Stop Killing Games, is like it's the like it got met, like the amount of names they needed on that.
Oh, they met it? Like they got the petition made? Oh,
I think they got there,
I didn't know that.
So it's like
it's pretty tight.
I watched a video of that yesterday, but I did not.
Yeah. So it's like at the end of the day, it's now at the point where it's like, with regards to if like what you care about is SGA, then why do you give a fuck about Pirate anymore? Because
shouts to SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander from the Oklahoma City Thunder, MVP of the
fuck Shea, bro. Fucking
no. Fucking J-Dub. Shea's cool. I like Shea.
Isn't
he's
Shea
fine.
Like
as a human being, he's probably great, or fine.
The Undertale runner and Deltarune runner.
Yeah,
you said fuck the Undertale runner.
I said fuck J-Dub, which is Jalen Williams, who percentage saved in Game 3 of the NBA Final. Anyway,
that motherfucker.
Do we have anything else to say about Stop Killing Games? Not Pirate Software. Stop Killing Games. Do we have anything else to say about
this? With regards to it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think you can like. I don't know, like, I just will continue to say that I think, obviously, this Stop just so people know where I stand, if it's not already obvious, I think this is
it's pretty
just
obvious.
It's a good thing, right? So I think what maybe why I get so turned up at this is like, it's a good thing. So like the fact that there was backlash and all is annoying, but it also ended up working out great. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's such a classic case of the internet, isn't it? Where it's just like, it existed, but it was kind of just not going to get anywhere. And then,
drama happens and now everyone cares.
Drama happens, or it's just like somebody is like, no, or like very anti this. And then if there's one thing you should never do is tell the internet to not do something.
True.
Is a lesson I've come to learn. This is a classic example of that lesson, right?
Guys, don't subscribe.
Do not like the video.
Yep.
Stop liking the video.
Don't comment ever.
Don't comment ever.
Yeah. If you comment, I will shoot you on sight.
Yeah.
In
Stop watching our episodes because we're gonna do some really terrible things on them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I have to say on the matter. Unless any of y'all had anything, but
I'm pretty obviously like for this thing as it's been presented, and I mean, I don't know. Comment down below if you want to see us take a trip to the Appalachian Mountains.
True. Hey,
I've never been. I don't. Well, I've driven
I'm
through
here.
Kinda, but
I'm already here. Come to Brazil. I mean Tennessee.
Brazil.
I can't believe Tennessee is the Brazil of the United States. That's crazy.
Jeez.
I didn't know you spoke Portuguese, bro. That's cool.
I did take a Portuguese class where I had to watch a bunch of Portuguese movies, so I know a lot about the history of Brazil now.
That's pretty dope, actually.
Hey guys,
Dude,
do you know who JFK? Not JFK. It's something with a
Brazilian
J and a
man.
K, but this guy basically had a plan of 50 years in 5 where he's going to put 50 years of progress into the Brazilian economy in 5 years. And it was pretty dope. He built
fake.
Brasilia, which is the new capital of Brazil. No, it worked. He built Brasilia, the new capital of Brazil.
Really?
And then, so he moved it from Sao Paulo to Brasilia, which is like in the center of Brazil. And so the idea was to unify everyone.
Interesting.
And then it also did a lot of basically the but is that it turbocharged inflation. Inflation just fucking got him in the ass there. But it was really good for the progress of Brazil to industrialize them and everything, bring them into the modern age. Sure. Anyway, that's going to be it for the podcast, everyone. Now that you've learned a little bit of Brazil. Yeah, nobody asked for that. But does anyone have anything to say before we go forever and leave?
Go ahead.
I mean, I'm just going to be streaming as per usual. I think by this point I will have done the GDQ hotfix run for DMC4 Lady Trish, because that's happening this past Wednesday from when this dropped. And then I'll probably be working on Samurai Western because I owe Zana some runs of Samurai Western. And then I think and that's part of going to be like my I guess my road to next SGDQ because I have a lot of stuff that I want to work on for that. I've also randomly gotten the desire to submit to speed-ons at some point. Huh. So I'm like, well, if I plan on going overseas anyway, maybe I could work on my Vanquish no DLC time and then get Zio, who's French, to commentate for me.
Okay.
Maybe I could do that, so we'll see if that even happens or if I because my big project for the year that I had kind of given myself was to fully reroute Fatal Frame 3 and really, really science that out. But we'll see what happens with that. For right now, though, I think it's probably just going to be Samurai Western for a little bit, and then we'll see what happens.
I guess for me, I'm back in the saddle on the editing train, so I'm hoping to be halfway done.
He's also streaming.
I am streaming
finally
a little bit too.
Yeah.
True.
I am. Yeah.
He's so back.
Yeah.
Got that Legacy of Kain time.
I did. I got a new record in that, and that VOD is up on my
Another
YouTube.
one.
But I'm gonna be working on Frog Monster a little bit. A new skip just got found.
Boo.
So I am waiting on video documentation for that, so I can learn how to do it. So might be a little bit, but I'm gonna be in the dungeon a little bit editing.
Hey, if you stream Frog Monster, can you do it at midnight so I don't have to watch it, please?
Damn.
Jesus. I'll watch it.
I'm a notorious Frog Monster hater.
What?
I like
Frog
I've been
Monster.
a clear Frog Monster hater. I've said this to Jax. It's my least favorite game he plays.
You want Stuart Little 3.
Not even, dude. I think I probably
Another Bound Neo was worse. Never mind. I take it back. That shit was ass.
That's fair.
Tough. That was me and one other person watching that stream.
That's fair.
I watched some of those.
You were there.
Honestly, I thought you were playing like a modded Metroid Prime, and I was like, "Is this the Jaxler top tier arc?" Like, no. And then it was like, "Oh, this is never mind." Because then I was like, "Wait, is he running like Metroid Prime on like potato PC settings or something?" And then it was like, "Nope, that's also not it." So
we have Metroid Prime at home, bro.
Another Bound Neo, bro. Like,
dude, that game fucks.
It'd be like if home was the dumpster, dude. That's where that retro
Come on,
Prime
the
would
game's
be.
dope. It's made by one guy, like a JP indie dev in 07.
That's true.
Like,
yeah.
come on.
I
like,
mean,
it's so
yeah.
It's pretty
interesting.
all right for what it is.
that doesn't mean that I have to enjoy watching you play it, though. You know what I mean?
That's true. I also don't have any desire to run it anymore because I got a really good fucking time in it. So
yeah, and that's good. And you should keep that. Can we get Vex back or something? Like, come on.
I need to find an Xbox copy of X, but that is on the menu potentially.
Oh, sick. Wait, why Xbox?
Faster loads because I really
and
Vex
there's no
needs
pause
to get in the
storage
fucking
to like make GameCube better, you know.
Yeah, well, Vex needs to get in the GDQ.
Wait a
it's
minute.
like it might only with faster loads, so it's
Is that on PS? That's on PS2 as well, right?
PS2, GameCube, Xbox. It's multiplayer. Yeah.
Couldn't you do HDL?
Oh shit, you couldn't you? But I'd have to check the loads.
Yeah, I mean it's worth checking it out.
We got some speedrun development happening right here in the outro.
But it also depends.
What? This is the slowest outro.
I'm gonna write that down actually.
Hey, you know,
That's crazy.
that's why I always.
This
try
is
to
what
outro
happens
early,
when
you
I'm
know?
here, dude. This is what happens when I'm here, man.
And he's
Is I
queer.
just, yeah.
Big brain activities.
True. Also, I was gonna say Silent Hill F and then add more letters onto the end, but I was like, I'm not gonna make that joke now.
A B C D E Silent
updates?
Hill F U.
So I'm
sucked,
gonna
I'm
try and
sorry.
start submitting to more speedrun marathons. So if anybody's watching this and has any marathons that you would recommend me submit to, please comment them down below.
Oh, I will
but
have
I got you. I got
the
you.
streams I'm
going to
be doing for the foreseeable future is well until the end of the month, rather, of August or July. Jesus, I'm thinking too far ahead. I'm going to be doing more Night of 100 Frights just because I'm going to submit to Complete-a-thon.
Okay, that was the
but
one I was
then-
gonna send you.
Tight.
Yeah. So I'm going to submit to Complete-a-thon, but then
Surely it's
otherwise,
going to be AMT.
Anyway,
Or wait, are you really planning on doing Hundo for that?
I have no idea yet.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Incredible.
You should do AMT because then you can submit it to GDQ. Because you're not going to get Hundo in GDQ.
Yeah.
It's just not.
But anyway, so
You never know.
foreseeable
I submit it
streams
every
for the
year.
rest of the month is going to be Night of 100 Frights, but otherwise I'm hoping next month I want to get a better Scooby Unmasked time. And then once I have that under the rug, then I'm finally going to start learning Sonic Heroes. So that's sort of the plan. That is my foreseeable plan. If I could stick to it, I hope to God I will. But that's and then my video will probably be out in the next year or so.
It'll be out late August for sure.
TBD on the new video.
TBD.
But yeah.
Goodbye forever. I'm not doing anything, so
Goodbye
it's
forever.
just like goodbye.
Bye.
Ah.
Bye.
I have no life. I just sit here and do nothing all day.